Welcome to the Juventus Crisis Call Center. Please press 1 for managerial concerns. Please press 2 for coaching concerns. Please press 3 for player concerns. You have selected 2, coaching concerns. Please wait while I direct your call.
Hello, you have reached the Juventus Coaching Crisis Call Center. How may I help you today?
Ma che cazzo, ragazzi. Can someone please explain what the that we just saw? We have a team that has been playing arguably the most boring, uninspired, flaccid football from any meaningful team of any top flight division across Europe. Yes, we've been decimated by injuries. We've had a string of terrible performances and results. And please note, I was at that Sampdoria match where we strung 1,000 passes back and forth in that U-shaped formation without any idea how to create anything. We had a game stolen from us last Sunday, albeit we were in a situation that Juventus, at home, mind you, should rarely, if not ever, find themselves in. I don't care if Bonucci wasn't interfering with play or if Italian VAR systems can't find all the players on the field. We should not be needing to score 2 goals in the last few minutes of a match to beat Salernitana at home. And on top of it, we lose midweek to Benfica. Yes, a solid team. No disrespect to them. They've had a fantastic start to this season. But we are Juve. We are Juventus. Our stadium is supposed to be a fortress, which of course it wasn't, and it isn't anymore. Again, a stale performance that will likely see us eliminated from the Champions League. And come next winter, we're going to see Paul Pogba and Chiesa maybe lining up for the Europa League. And so we have all of this behind us, all of that leading up to this afternoon's match in Monza. How do you not get a team coming out onto the field like that? Monza, a team that has scored 3 goals in the first 6 games of the season with no wins. They were in Serie C 2 seasons ago. How do you not get them to come out breathing fire, playing with intensity, showing that grinta that we so desperately miss from Chiellini, from Marchisio, from Lichtsteiner, from Mandzukic, from Del Piero, from freaking Padawin and Sturaro? Where was that? Where was that? When I played soccer in high school, the worst adjective that could be used to describe any performance was soft. To be soft is an embarrassment to the sport, to the game, to your preparation, to the fans and spectators. What we saw today was just soft. I don't get it. How does a guy with Allegri's experience, his tenure, his understanding of the game, his time with this club and its history, what he has achieved, what he has done with Juve, how does he not get this team to come out better? What we saw today was soft. I am 100% now team #Allegri out. So how can you help me?
We've heard your complaints and we've taken it quite seriously. We'll be forwarding this complaint to the proper authorities. Please wait back into 6 to 9 business months when Carabini and our officials actually look at the report. We honestly value your continued contribution to Juventus TV and to the Turin Stadium ticket vendor supply. While we understand your frustration, sir, please do acknowledge that we currently are not taking any corrective action and not doing anything differently. But please do visit our stadium again. Thank you, Juventus FC.
All right, guys.
Marketing email.
It was funny. That last line was improv. So it's like I was sitting there thinking, like, when Kevin was going, I'm like, dude, I got to do like the douchebag customer service response right there. So I was like, boom, let's go for it.
Well, that was fun. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for putting up with our little skit there. We thought we'd have some fun rolling into this one. First and foremost, welcome, Kevin. He's our man on the ground, finally here live in front of all of you. So, Kevin, introduce yourself. Let us know what you're doing.
Dave Dash, it's a pleasure to be on here for the first time. Definitely won't be the last. Look forward to contributing in every way that I can moving forward. But yeah, team, it's awesome to be a part of this, and thank you to those who are here with us live. You're brave. I think if I had an option of watching a live YouTube show or catching the recording later, I'd find some other things to do. I know my time as a fan, usually when Juve hits these moments, I try to avoid the news and focus on other things. But now we've got a job to do here. But look, I've moved to Turin in January with my wife. I had an opportunity come up with work, and we had just got married recently. And before like having kids and diving into kind of having a family, it was just, if we don't do this now, when are we ever going to do it? So we find ourselves here, and it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, the city's incredible. Italy is fantastic. And I could talk about that for a lot longer. But obviously it's great being a Juve fan, to be living in the city where they're based. And when Farhad reached out, I think it was it June or July, he had a podcast, like a summer pod, come out, said that he was looking to invest more into the YouTube experience, and if anybody wanted to help, that they should reach out. And I pinged him on Instagram just saying, hey, look, I live in Turin. I have no YouTube experience. I don't have any journalism experience or anything like that. But since I'm based in Turin, I might be of some value. So here I am, and I've got to meet you too, which I didn't know you before, what, 4 months ago, and
or really like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, live. And actually, for those of you who are watching, I mean, all of our interaction has been pretty much through WhatsApp. So this is my first time getting to see these two guys live. So I'll stop there, but it's been an awesome couple weeks and months. But obviously, wish we were in a different position with respect to Juve's results.
Yeah, totally. So
don't we all?
I'm gonna rattle off some intros of some of our regulars in here. Somewhere in. It's painful to watch Juve, but you're gonna laugh watching us. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we hope. We hope you can at least brighten your day a little bit.
So our buddy Sheffrin's in. So he's like, my brother's, my heart stopped today after the Arriva Bene interview. Before the game, he announced that there's actually a project going on and that he's responsible for it. Yeah. We might cover that. It was a unique interview, but hopefully we kickstart your heart today. That's what we're shooting for. We'll do some virtual chest compressions for you.
Let's make sure we get back to that point for sure. There's some things to unpack there.
Absolutely. And then Animesh says, what project? There is no project.
Yeah, doesn't look like it right now, no.
Yeah. You never know. So like you guys remember the college student that always leaves things for the last minute? I think that's what it is. That's why.
The procrastinator.
Procrastinator.
Wait until what, May?
Yeah, May. Bones is saying he's dead. I mean, I hope not.
No, you're still with us, bud. I hope so.
So this is following in with Sheffrin's initial comment saying that he announced today that it would be crazy to think about sacking Allegri, and he should obviously should be blamed because he's the man at the top. Yep. We'll go into that. Don't worry. We won't just tease you guys just a little bit, and we'll go into it. And then Francisco says, "Hey, Kevin."
Thank you, Francisco. Thanks for being here.
And then Chef says, "Hey, at least Kevin has a defined, clear project." So kudos to you right there, Kevin. And then laughing face. All right, cool. So,
I'm glad some of you guys are taking this a little lighthearted too, because I mean, you can bitch about it or you can laugh about it. So you can kind of tell which direction we're going with it.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, projects. I mean, that's corporate talk too, though. So
yeah,
let's be honest.
Definitely.
I mean, that's what any CEO would say. Right. It doesn't matter if it's in a sporting context or in the business world, right? Like they're going to claim responsibility because it's the professional thing to say in an interview. I don't know how much I'd read into that.
Yeah, not too much, honestly, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I mean,
so Just before we kick off, just a couple points. Yes, we will be announcing the winner of the T-shirt tonight. I have it narrowed down to 5 people. I did a super random thing. I spent way too much time just random. There's no good method. So I went through, picked everyone's name out manually, put it in like this number picker. I dropped it down to 10 people. You had to get drawn 3 times to make to the final 10, and then I did that again to get it to the final 5. So like I made sure that everyone had a fair swing at this as best as I could. So we're gonna do that about halftime. Also, I mean, if you need to get something off your chest, just do it. Just do it. It's fine. We're here for you. We'll talk about it. We'll try to get the bad mojo off us. Get ready for that international break, if you will. But I'll let you guys get what you have off your chest first.
Yeah, if you want to kick it off, Kevin, man, the world's your oyster right now.
Yeah, you're the big celebrity right now. We haven't seen you yet.
Did I just not share everything that was going through my mind?
You certainly did. I was impressed with how many words you fit in without taking a breath in between.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me, I think, just does come back to the grinta and that mentality that has been associated with this club for decades, right? And particularly since like the 2011-2012 season, and like coming into the stadium, Conte coming in as coach with that fiery attitude after the 2 7th place finishes the 2 seasons prior, and really just this incredible string of seasons that, I don't know, at this point, are we taking them for granted or not? But with the club of our stature and standing and financial resources and the fan base and the history, yes, there's going to be some down seasons here and there, but the level of performance, and the only player going into 50-50 challenges today with any level of energy was Miretti. The 19-year-old had probably 5 or 6 solid 50-50 wins. Now, granted, his final ball today was awful. How many passes did he kind of piss away? But that fire, that energy that has been associated with this team, even when playing kind of ugly defensive style brand of calcio, there was always that passion and that belief as a fan that they're giving it everything and they're leaving it on the field, truly breathing and living the fino alla fine that is supposedly the motto that we embrace. And that hasn't been there. It was kind of there at Sassuolo. Like, that was a fun game. The very first game of the season was fun. It's just uninspired. I don't know. I can't quite figure it out. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
The words come hard in these situations. Yeah, just take a deep breath. It's all good. Yeah, Dash, how you feeling?
The thing is like, I'm disappointed. Like, I'm not, like, I'm furious, but like, I'm not gonna sit here and go on like an infamous rant and just start swearing and blah blah blah. It's not my style. But like, I'm disappointed because the thing is like, you can make the excuse, yeah, I have injuries, I have etc. And like, the thing is like, I'm starting to really get annoyed with the whole injury spiel, because it's like, championship caliber teams always find a way to win regardless of the injuries. Like, for example, Milan has been suffering through injuries for the last 2 years, and they still figured out ways to win. They won the title last year. So it's like, I hear that, and then it's like, to me, it's just like, there's way too many excuses. And then also for me, it's like, Allegri's not game planning properly, which is clearly present. Even with Landucci, there wasn't really a concise game plan. And then it's like, we go into it, like, even the players themselves, like, for example, there's a couple of graphics where you saw a player passing routes and stuff. And the thing is like, You can say that Allegri doesn't tactically put everybody in position where they need to be, but at the same time, the players aren't executing what they're supposed to do. It's like some of the most uneventful passes I've ever seen. And again, how much of it is on Allegri and how much of it isn't on Allegri? I'm going to go in from a third person perspective and say it's 50-50. Because Allegri's not giving them the proper game plan and the players aren't executing the game plan, or they're not good at thinking on the fly, which is something I've seen consistently happen over the past. My opinion, I think it's 3-4 years where players just have not been consistently playing. So it's like, even like, for example, even under Sarri, there's a couple of players that made some bonehead mistakes in important games. Same thing with Pirlo again last year as well. So it's like, I don't want to say that these players are dumb, but like their field IQ to me, like it baffles me. So like, for example, even with the goal that they conceded today, and I was able to actually get like a really cool screenshot clip that I'll show you guys. But like, even if you look at like the defense that led up to the Monza goal, there's way too many gaps, and you're just kind of like, how are they leaving this space, this gap here? It makes almost literally no sense, and it baffles me. So it's like, I don't know if people in the chat feel the same way, but like I get like everyone's angry at Allegri, and I agree with it. I'm not saying that, hey, we're far sight with the whole Allegri out thing. No, I don't think it's out there. I think it's warranted. But like the thing is like these players also, like it's just like they can't think. And like that's one of the things that I kind of agreed with Allegri's weird interview, or the leaked interview, or whatever the heck we're calling it. And ironically, he's gotten fined for it. Because apparently the club said you can't do stuff like that and not let us know. And some of the players are pissed about it, which, I mean, I kind of agree with and I don't agree with at the same time, because, again, you're a coach. Your job is to always, like, if you're going to criticize your players, you keep it behind doors. I mean, that's what, like, most coaches do. Like, for example, Pep and Klopp, they don't sit there and be like, okay, yeah, these guys need to do this or need to do that. So it's weird, but like also, and then I kind of want to go at the management too. Like, for example, Nedved and Agnelli are not on the same page. Like, even though like what's being released are rumors per se of Nedved saying I want an instant sack right away, and Agnelli's like, well, I'm not really sure about that, and et cetera, et cetera. How true it is, I don't really care. But the one thing that I do know is that Nedved and Agnelli have not been on the same page for almost 3 to 4 years now. With the initial firing of Allegri, that was a Nedved idea, and then the second rehiring of Allegri, which is an Agnelli thing. And then this might be a conspiracy theory, but I think Agnelli gave Allegri a 4-year deal in spite of Nedved, to be honest with you, because who gives a coach a 4-year deal nowadays? Like, that to me is insane. Most coaches get 2 years, especially when they're coming in. Most coaches get a 2-year deal and then a possibility for an extension later. So that even that deal makes no sense to me. And and it's not me bashing on the club saying you guys don't have a project or anything like that, but like who gives, especially in Serie A, who gives a coach a 4-year deal? That to me made no sense.
It was obviously sort of an inside thing, right? I don't know. It's still the remnants of sort of the past era of management where, I mean, like Ramsey, for instance, those kinds of things. And now we have Allegri that we can't get rid of in this case. We're finally getting rid of all these players that we don't want, that the past management kind of threw on us. And now we bring in Allegri again, who didn't want any of those players, bring in all the Allegri players, but then he still isn't doing anything. I don't know. Like, I'm at loss for words too, really, at this point. But I mean,
look at this game today. So, Dash, I totally there's blame with the players too, right? Like it's not totally the coach, and I get that. But you look at today's game. Up until Di Maria was sent off, rightfully sent off,
which
we weren't creating anything.
Quick second.
Yeah,
no, you keep going, Kevin. He's
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, because
I mean, he was
when I enter.
Rightfully,
sorry, I'm just going to give you some. Okay, we're working this out. Sorry, Kevin, I'm talking over you. I just want to let you know that I'm going to give you a little bit of extra, let's say.
Yeah, we're giving you some content.
Yes, giving you some content. Sorry, I'm working on it.
All good.
But Go ahead.
Oh, good. We weren't creating anything. Like Vlahovic had a few shots that were never going to make it into the back of the net. We weren't creating anything. Like what we were doing for 40 minutes with 11 players on the field wasn't working. So why was it when we come out in the second half, there's not a single substitution or meaningful change in how we were approaching that game until what was the first substitution? The 75th minute, something like that. And I know there was all youngsters and we didn't have this robust bench of the talent that we should have if we weren't in this injury crisis. But there were no ideas. There was nothing. It was just keep doing what you're doing, but do it a man down. To me, that is 100% coaching. They didn't have a clue how to recover going into the second half.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that too, it's also like, for example, it kind of surprises me, like, for example, how players also don't sit there and think, wait a minute, why are we running this play consistently? Because, like, for example, think about it. Like, if you're Vlahovic or Bremer, whoever, and in the interview, Allegri said, my players obey me. Like, they don't, they just obey me. That to me sounded stupid. I don't know how accurate the translation is, but like, as a player, wouldn't you sit there and be like, why the hell are we constantly playing this one single side? And why don't we just adjust to it? Like I don't know. And then, like, to go off on it too. So, like, for example, you said the substitutions, right? So our substitution, so the earliest sub that we had was the 78th minute. And that was Moise
It was
Keane.
even later.
Yeah. And it was Moise Keane of all people. So, like, you bring in Moise Keane, and then next you sub out, I believe it was DeCilio for Soulier, and then Fagioli at the same time. So it's like, if you're going to do something like that, like, for example, if you're going to bring in Soulier, like, I would bring Soulier in earlier. Like, that to me that makes no sense, because, like, for example, how are you going to sit there and let Soulier and Fagioli have, 9 minutes tops? Because from the 86th, and I believe we had 5 minutes of extra time, come in there and do it. So, like, that to me makes absolutely no sense. And then, like, I'll even, because I have it ready to go, but, like, I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys the match recap stats that I have over yonder. But, like, for example, we look at it here. So, again, Monza beating us 1-0. Like, Monza made all of their plays early. So, like, for example, substitutions within 10, 15 minutes, like, you can tell that, hey, we're trying to go in and we're trying to win this game. So you have they even took off their best midfielder. They're arguably their best player in Sensi. They swapped Sensi out for Barberis.
And Mata is their other best player.
and Mata as well. So, and then, in my opinion, it takes about 15 minutes for a player coming into a match to actually influence the match. Unless you are like prime Ronaldo and Messi, where you come in there and just tap magic. But, like, for example, if you look at an average roster, or, like, for example, your typical roster, it takes about, and look at this, ironically, roughly around the 15 to 20 minute margin. So, like, for example, you do all of these changes. So, like, for example, if you're doing 4 changes, you're going to have roughly about maybe 10 minutes of adjustments of the players actually getting accustomed to the tempo and to the flow of the game. And then the other 10 minutes is when they actually start creating and doing things on their own. You do all of these changes, and then next thing later, once they get past that adjustment period, they go in, they do what they do, and they get the goal. And then again, this is just an icing substitution. Whereas we're reactive. They scored. Okay, bring in Keane, throw in Fagioli, throw in Sule. Makes no sense. Like, to me, it makes absolutely no sense.
And what's the point of putting somebody in at the 86th minute, really?
They're token substitutions. There's no game plan. There's no strategy. It's just, I have leftover subs. I might as well use these players. There's no other thought process than that.
Here's a quick question here. If there's a clause to get rid of Allegri after 2 years, I believe the clause is if he fails to make the Champions League.
Yeah. So the damage would already been done. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's not going to do anything for us.
It's catch 22.
But look at, and again, even the player ratings here as well. So, like, for example, this is FOTMob. So this is the app that's giving their suggested ratings. But, like, for example, you look at certain players, like, for example, Vlahovic himself, contained 6.1 overall, only 3 shots that entire game. And these are all of the locations where he had his shots. And I believe he didn't register. I believe he registered some on target. This one was stuffed.
I think there was one. I think there was one.
I think it's this one right
here.
That
one, that he put across, but it was pretty light, let's say.
Yeah, so Vlahovic's last shot was the 28th minute.
That's crazy.
Like, isn't that crazy, guys? So he had one on the 26th, one on the 14th. This one was blocked. The 14th minute, I lost it. No. So like the 14th minute, he had this one that skied over top left. Yeah, top left. And then he had another one that went blocked by a defender. And then his last shot of the rest of the game was a bottom corner shot that was stopped. Passes 56%. I mean, again, target man. But like that to me baffles me. So like, for example, you look at Vlahovic. Let's look at McKennie too. So like we'll pull up McKennie's action as well. McKennie had no shots at all. Pass accuracy of 78%. 2 chances created.
Worse.
47 touches. Average, bang average, and that's what the rating is. Like for example, even Paredes, who is the regista, one total shot. That one got completely whiffed out wide. I think we remember that one. Clear miss.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate passes, 87%. You can't complain about that. That's not
pretty good.
bad. That
40 for
is a
46.
yeah. So and then we scroll down. I wonder if it has touches on here. It should have touches, but
go. I know we were down a man, so it's going to be skewed a little bit. But go to Ravella. See how many passes he had.
Yeah,
Sure.
and actually, that's something I wrote down. Is Rovella was probably the best guy on both teams in the match today.
He had
So
double
Ravella
the
had
passes.
95. So Ravella actually
92%.
ran laps around Paredes, which is ironic.
And he was
Yes, it
backtracking.
is.
He was picking up balls. He was. Why is he on Monza, not Juve? I mean,
Yeah, and here's a big thing too. So like for example, defensively, so 1 out of 2 tackles, 50%, 4 interceptions, 7
yeah,
recoveries.
recoveries. There you go.
That's huge. And then ground duels, he won 60% of his ground duels.
And he's not a
committed
big
2
dude
fouls.
either. That's the other thing. He's not a monster by any means.
So literally twice the amount of touches, bang out amazing performance from him. Like for example, let's look at Kostic. He's our chance creator for the team. 83% accuracy, not bad. Only created 2 chances that whole game. 38 touches, 1 successful dribble, 5 passes into the final third. 75% accurate on crosses. So that's counting as long as a Juve player hits the cross. That's what they're going to count that as. So not really much coming from his side. We saw McKennie not create much. Let's look at our golden boy here, Moretti. 28 touches. He had 1 shot that was a miss. 40 overall, 47 touches in the game. 1 successful dribble. 8 passes into the final third. Dispossessed once. That's actually a really key stat. That like if you look and you did this on Quadrado, you'd see 20 dispossessions in a game. So like.
So where's the
Those
Ducks
geese,
coming
I'm
from
sorry.
right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the geese. Yeah,
I do. So unfortunately, they just decided to fly in right now. But yeah, so they're actually migrating in from Canada or starting to migrate a little bit further south.
Oh,
so,
they're on their way out of this spot. That's for sure. It's
Yeah.
getting chilly. I'm
Yeah.
already in my sweater. So
yeah. So I live near a big body of water. So unfortunately, they all like to hang out over here. So
yeah,
I apologize for the honking, guys. It's just me testing to make sure that you guys are awake. No.
first it was the alarm system. Now it's the geese. You
I
got the
know.
train too rolling through.
Dude, I have some of the weirdest feedback or sound noises in the background. But all right, so the next thing I'm going to bring over here is an overlay of the goal. So I actually was able to screenshot an image from the replay. So this is how we were prior to the cross that goes in. So if there's one thing that I've already noticed, and I'm sorry to all the fans that you guys are about to have some heartburn after this, but we got a job to do. So like, for example, here's 2 things me as a coach would see that I am fuming. I am furious.
That guy.
Him. Who's the one that scores the goal? It's this guy
Is
up
it
here.
that guy? Yeah.
Yeah. So what this does is, so the thing is so this guy, so it's McKennie that's supposed to be watching. So McKennie's supposed to be watching this guy, and then Bremer's supposed to be watching this guy. So the thing is whenever, so like, for example, coaching offensively and coaching defensively. So like, for example, if I'm coaching my team offensively, so for example, if I'm Monza's coach right now, I tell my guys to always be in front of a center back when you're making a run into the box. So he's in front, oops, wrong button. So he's in front of Bremer. Oh, my eraser's not working. No, let me do that. All right. So this guy's in front of Bremer, so he's doing what I want him to do. Because the thing is so this is a defensive miscue by McKennie. So this is technically the first mistake is by McKennie. Because the reason is McKennie's giving this guy this much gap, so it's forcing Gatti to look at him. So that means Gatti's eyes are on him and not the guy behind him. So I don't know if there's a miscommunication between Bremer and Gatti, but then if Gatti's eyes are here, Bremer needs to lock up on him. But unfortunately, what happens is, and I can't play the whole clip because of copyright reasons. So what happens is you'll see he'll move in over here, which pulls Gatti this way, and then McKennie crashes in here, which allows him to slide in between both Gatti and Bremer, and he just flicks the ball into the net. So that's what I call a defensive miscue or a defensive breakdown, because how the ball essentially flies is he's positioned. So the thing is this guy's position, the way that it's looking, you're thinking that the ball is going to go right here. And this guy comes in and taps it in. That's your initial thought. But reality, so whenever I'm setting up a team to attack from the wing, there's always a bait man that we use. And this guy is the definition of the bait man. So what he does is he pulls in and he tries to distract the main center back that's right here. So and then that also opens up a small little alleyway for him to come in and be right here. So you give credit to Monza because this is excellent execution by Monza. Because first thing is you have to put the ball on really, really well, and his cross literally lands like right here. So like he's able to come in, beat Gatti because Gatti doesn't even know he's behind him. So he's able to come in, beat Gatti, and then scores the goal. So it's a beautiful play by Monza, but again, it happened because of a terrible defensive miscue by us. Because the pass was amazing. Nothing wrong with the pass by Monza, but I got to really stop doing that. But this right here, even though it looks like you're defensively solid, but like this guy, the reason is so like when strikers get ready to make a run through center backs, they always leave about this amount of space between them and the center back. So that means he's already anticipating that the cross is coming because, like, for example, this guy right here, so this action right here, nothing happens. It's just occupying a center back. The stuff that, like, for example, if you guys are, and I employ you guys when you guys are playing pickup, people in the chat and you guys as well, guys that are really good strikers will always space themselves in between the center back. Guys that are good finishers in the box. Because the reason is they use their momentum to essentially push through the back line. So he starts slowly moving forward where you look at Gatti, and unfortunately I can't zoom in on this, but Gatti's flat-footed, Bremer's flat-footed. Because like you can see right here, Bremer's foot is planted on the ground. His foot that's driving his momentum. Gatti's completely planted. This guy's in stride. So when that ball moves in, he comes in, nicks it in, taps it in, easy goal, 1-0 Monza. So there's I think again you can blame the coach too, but I also think there's just a lot of player miscues as well. But overall, overall it's just it's a crapshoot, to be honest with you. As a coach, me seeing that to me, especially with Bremer and Gatti making that mistake, I can you can give it to Gatti because it's his first season in the top tier, but like. It's stupid mental mistakes like that. Like, for example, it is. Like, for example, even with Moretti's penalty in the Champions League against Benfica, it's just mental gaps, unfortunately. And we're Juventus. You can't afford to make those mental gaps.
Hey, remind me again, I need to see the replay. Where the striker connected with the cross, was it inside the 6 or outside?
It was right on the edge of the 6. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna.
I've been such a fan of Perrine and everything that he's done since coming in, but I remember feeling that something he could have gotten to, because a keeper should own the 6, but I can't remember if it was outside or not.
So it was within the 6, but the thing is, so let me see. I'm going to take a snapshot of it because I'm playing it on my other monitor. So like I'll show you where the ball lands. But it bounces. It has like a really weird. It's like a really weird bounce. So it's not directly. It's not directly in the air for for Preen to get. Like if Preen were to make a move on it, it's tough, man.
It would
It's
have
just
been pretty, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
It's a hard one.
it's a well placed ball. So give me one moment, and I'll show you guys the screenshot of where the ball lands. So all right. So here's where it essentially ends up. So Kevin, it literally lands right here on this line. So here's the ball, and then this is again. So the guy's in stride. The ball lands right here. So for Perrine to even make an attempt on that, Perrine has to fully lunge forward and dive in, because what happens is the ball essentially comes in and it dips right there.
Okay.
So unfortunately, Perrine's kind of stuck in no man's land. And again, like this guy over here, I forgot their name from Monza, but he literally just comes in out of nowhere and splits right between. And see how Bremer's still in the same position that we were on the last image. And Gatti kind of tries and like looks over and he's like, oh crap, and tries to move in, but Bremer never even moved from his initial position. So Bremer was completely caught off guard. But yeah, it's an ugly defensive miscue for sure.
By scoring powerhouse Monza with their 4th goal of the season.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I know it looks like I'm not paying attention here. I'm actually going through the draw results, which we'll be doing soon. So yeah, that's why I'm aloof. I'm going through my democratic process of picking people here. We'll let you know soon.
Excellent.
So it's good that you guys don't need me. You guys are just rolling with it. You don't need me at all. I'm just some guy in the background at this point. I'll jump back in when I'm ready.
So how here, just kind of coming from the side here, but how, I don't know if karma is the right word or just funny how things work out in life. How Raffaella Palladino comes in to take the coaching spot to get Monza's first Serie A win against the team that he came up with through the Primavera. I just find that to be so, I don't know, serendipitous, I think, for him. I mean, I remember I actually studied in Turin for a semester when I was in university. So this was 15 years ago. And if you do the math, that puts us in the Serie B season. And so that was, I think, 2006, 2007. And obviously we still had some of our champions, right? Del Piero, Nedved, Camoranesi, Trezeguet, Buffon, among others, stayed with the team. But Palladino at the time was like the rising star. And I distinctly remember, like, Juventus actually used to put out a magazine. They had like a publication that came out. I don't know if it was every couple of weeks or every month, but there was one that I purchased, and it was like Raffaele Palladino, Il futuro è il tuo, which is like the future is yours. Like he was supposed to be like the next Del Piero. And obviously that never played out. I think he came back up with us to Serie A for a season or two. I don't know how many clubs he played with, 10, maybe more. He was just a nomad throughout his career. And to see him land at Monza and then get that win against us, I don't know. That's like good for him. Like what a good story for him. Obviously, not so much for us.
No, yeah. But right now, it's almost like I kind of want to blame Pogba's mom for doing some weird kind of voodoo stuff and absolutely just like cursing us or something like that, man. Because the thing is like, I think, can we all agree that like this has just been like an absolute weird season? Like I thought last season was weird, but like some of the stuff that's happened this year, you're just like, seriously? Like I don't know, like I'm kind of like dumbfounded. And the thing is I kind of want to open up, because I had this discussion with my dad earlier today, and it was about like the strength of Serie A, because you guys are going to get a kick out of this. So I'm going to pull up some quick results for the league right now. And if we look today, so like for example, today Inter lost 3-1 to Udinese. And then also Atalanta beat Roma 1-0, and Napoli just beat Milan 2-1. So like one of the arguments that we had is and I'm going to open this up to you guys in the chat too. So do you guys think Serie A has gotten stronger, or has it been getting significantly weaker? Because take into account the performances in Europe as well. So like the one thing, so my dad's old school. So my dad's like, he's watched it in the 80s and the 90s. Like he's watched heyday Serie A. So like fortunately I wasn't alive in the 80s and such, so I couldn't see any of that. But like he was saying this, he's like, and you guys chime in too, but like he says this, he's like, I don't care how close the league is. He's like, the thing that determines a league strength is the performances in Europe. And right now, the only team that's performing is Napoli. And even at that, and he's like, in my opinion, he's like, Udinese should not be at the top of the table right now. He's
Shouldn't
like,
be.
yeah, because right now they're technically Napoli went back up, but like he's saying his argument was like, Napoli shouldn't be, or not Napoli. Well, he even considers Napoli because Napoli's technically not like, and he's used to the old school, but like for him, he's like, Udinese and Atalanta should not be there. Even though like they'll have good runs, etc., but like for them to consistently challenge, or like even like Udinese to have like this weird run that it's having, he's like, in his opinion, he was like, I think the league has gotten significantly weaker, overall league quality, just because of how we're performing in Europe.
Yeah, that one's really tough to say because
I know it's an interesting topic.
it is because I mean, yeah, that's definitely one yardstick, and I would agree with that. That yeah, I mean, when you put it on the European scale, how do you perform? But part of it is, as we know, the Italian style doesn't necessarily work on the European stage. Like you take Conte for instance, he can win with any team, it seems, until he goes to Europe. And he takes that Italian style to Tottenham in this case. And I mean, it works. And he does well in the Premier League, which you can say is a tougher league. But I mean, it's hard to say. Like, what is the yardstick? How do you judge what's stronger, what's weaker? It's very hypothetical. But that being said, like just from my own opinion, really, without any real data, I want to say the past couple years it seemed to get a bit stronger with Inter and Milan, but this year, yeah, there's something wrong with this year. It does seem overall weaker.
Yeah, because I mean, overall, Juve's we've gotten weaker. I mean, we have to be honest with that. We're not a dominant force anymore. But like, it's just one of those things where you're like, yeah, I guess maybe the thing is shifting, or the play styles of the team is shifting. But like, even like for example, even Premier League teams, like I remember like in the mid 2010s, like 2010 to like 2015, 16, when there was like a new Premier League winner every season where no one ever repeated. And those guys absolutely like flopped in the group stages. I think once Klopp and Guardiola and them came in, that's when the Premier League really started taking off in Europe. But like, I don't know. I feel like, me personally, like my opinion, I think we're in that like awkward phase where the Premier League was from like 2010 to like 2015, where like you had Chelsea that won it, but like that's your one off essentially. And it's like everyone else would get knocked out in the round of 16, kind of like what's happening right now. And then like, I think and I do think the Italian Federation needs to evolve as well. But like, it's weird. I don't know. It's just like we're in this really weird phase of the league where it's like, yeah, the games are entertaining. Yes, people are scoring goals, but like for example, let's take Italiano. Like, how are you going into the Conference League and losing 3-0? Or even like with Sarri and Lazio, how they're losing to, I can't even pronounce the team that they played, but they lost 5-2. So it's like, I don't know. It's really weird and really ironic at the same time. But I was just curious to see your guys' take on it.
Yeah, go for it, Dash. I'm just going through comments, so go for it.
No, I mean, I think it's definitely weaker. I think Serie A certainly became more competitive in recent years with Milan and Inter kind of resurging a bit. I mean, we had that incredible 9-year streak where nothing can be taken away from those accomplishments, but the league top to bottom wasn't as competitive. And right now it is a lot more competitive, but I do think it's competitive because there's kind of like a regression to the means across these teams, and the gap between the top 2 to 3 teams in Serie A versus the mid-table versus the bottom of the table isn't nearly as far as the gap you see in Germany, Spain, and in the UK. And like the money that's coming in to some of these leagues and teams right now, it's that money's not going into Serie A. It's just not. And I'm concerned as just not even a fan of just Juve, but as a fan of the game itself, that you're going to see these like 4 or 5 teams that are the only ones capable of winning at a European stage just because of these super teams that came out. I mean, I just saw somewhere, I don't know if it was Instagram, Twitter, of the highest paid players in the game right now, combination between salary and endorsements. I mean, between Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, it's something like over 200 million per year on just 3 players. What is our payroll right now? And we're by far and away the largest payroll in Italy.
And
like,
we just reduced it too. Like,
and you can't
60
compete
million.
with that. You can't compete with that. So like, money obviously talks, and when you're not able to recruit the right kind of talent, and it's money's not always going to win, right? It not always, but eventually it's going to make a meaningful difference. And Serie A is just not there right now. And whoever is in charge of like the marketing and the attraction and the just attracting investments and how like Serie A is structured and getting investment going into the league, they're not doing their job. And I know we're getting off topic from Juve, but I think it does tie. It does tie together.
Well, I mean, it's a valid argument. So, like, I'll finish with this and then we'll go into halftime. But, like, for example, the Premier League was a joke until, like, a couple of American companies and also other television rights invested into it. Like, no one really cared that much about it. Right now, TV revenue brings the Premier League at $2.5 billion. So, like, it's insane compared to what Serie A does. And I think it's like 400 million that comes in through DAZN and Paramount or CBS.
And Sky.
And Sky as well.
Year too.
Yep. So like the amount of money, like for example, all the TV deals that come in from the Prem is almost 2.5 billion. So like everyone was complaining about the Super League. In my opinion, it's already there because Brighton can technically outspend Juve in a transfer window. Like that to me boggles my mind. Where Nottingham Forest can come in and just say, "Oh yeah, Renan Lodi, he's a backup for Atletico Madrid. Yeah, we'll drop 40 million for him." Like Nottingham Forest, they were in the Championship League literally last season. Could you imagine Monza being allowed to spend that much money off rip? Because like
it was over 100 million, wasn't it? For what Nottingham dropped? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, could you imagine if Monza did that? Like, it's literally what it is. Like not Monza and Nottingham are almost the same. It's just Nottingham can have the money to buy it. So like, the thing is like, and the Premier League isn't really the most attractive football in the world. It isn't tactically. It's not. It's just that's not the draw. It's just the thing is it's the money. That's why all the players are going there because everyone's getting huge contracts.
You see that a lot. I mean, North American sports is a good example. Like the NFL. I like to hate on the NFL a bit because it's not a pretty sport to watch. I mean, people love it. It's huge. It's marketed very well. The production value is absolutely great. But, I mean, it's a game that stops to talk about what they're going to do. I mean, like every 30 seconds, right? Like, it's not a beautiful game to watch in that sense. So, it does prove marketing and just production value go a really, really long way.
Well, and the thing is the Premier League has probably one of the best production value companies in the United States, which is NBC Sports. They're owned by Comcast, which is the biggest cable utility in the country. So, like, they're going to have, like, all of that. Like, if you watch a Premier League game on NBC, they got, like, 15 different camera angles. So it's like they got it. Or it's like CBS. Like, we're lucky to even get anything. Like, for example, Sheriff's comment, perfect. So Manchester United versus Juventus would be a great financial example given their market value. Here's the thing. So Man U is owned by one of the biggest billionaires in the United States. He owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Glazers. So like they own a baseball team, they own a football team, and an NFL team. Any NFL team is twice the amount of probably your most expensive club. Like, for example, the Denver Broncos, like an NFL team, random team, are worth at least $3.5 billion. Or the Detroit Lions, where I'm from, easily $2.5 billion. Clubs aren't worth that much. I mean, I think the only thing that rivals it would be Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, maybe us, maybe.
We're not, I don't even know if we barely cracked the top 10.
Yeah,
We
as far
used
as
to be. I don't know where it sits now. It might have dropped a bit, but we
like
were
club
top 10.
value. Yeah, and then also to fill in, like CR7 did give life to the league. He did. He brought in the extra TV ad and the TV revenue, but the problem is he was past his prime. Like he was starting to his magic was starting to whittle down a little bit. So that's one thing too as well. So
And the
we're
whole
in a
COVID thing.
yeah, especially that whole shebang. But it's a sad state. I mean, it's unfortunate.
Well, let's lighten things up a little bit. Let's roll into this shirt giveaway now. I've picked 3 names. So one's going to win a shirt, and I have a discount code for a couple other guys. It's a 15% discount code. So try to spread the love a little bit. I mean, we're not monetized yet, guys. We're not actually making money. So, I mean, yeah, keep on liking, subscribing. We're going to get better prizes eventually, bigger prizes, more for everyone. That's what we want to do. We want to give everyone a prize if we can get away with it. But for now, I mean, we're just small fry. So we'll start with just a shirt and a couple discount codes, and hopefully, next time when we hit 1,000, we can really make a big mess of this thing. So the 3 names. I should have got the drum roll or something. Anyways, we're past that. So first off, thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's been great. All the names I pulled is everyone that has commented either offline or online, like the lives or the replays. Try to get everyone as much as I can. So once I give you a call out, there's a couple ways of contacting me. You can hit me up at Twitter. Sorry, you can see at Dave Turin Giants there. Also on the Discord. So just to make it easy, I am going to throw the little Discord barcode up right there. You can scan that. It'll drop you right in. Both of those will basically get me a text message right to my phone right away. Those are the 2 easiest ways. I mean, Instagram, I track once in a while, but I mean, if you only have Instagram, sure, do that. So we'll start with the 2 discount codes, and these 2 people are in the chat. I hope they're still in the chat anyways. So, number 1 is Oscar Hannibal Heenum, I believe it's pronounced, but Oscar. I think you might still be around. So contact me. I'll get you that discount code, as well as KBTV. And you just commented, so I think you're still here. So congratulations for those 2. Those are the runner-up prizes. And now for the T-shirt, for the Marquisio Turn Giants T-shirt. Kevin's he's wearing the middle one. We have one when he's a kid, one when
This is Del Piero actually, but
it's
in the same style.
One.
It's in the same style.
Yeah. But yeah, I've shown you. I can bring it up after what you're actually going to win here. But, and unfortunately, I don't think he showed up tonight, but he is one of our regulars, number 10. So number 10, if you're catching this on the replay, just contact me. We'll try to reach out. So congratulations to number 10 and to KBTV and Oscar. You are the recipients of our first giveaway for hitting 500 subscribers. So thank you, everyone. And we'll get back to our therapy session.
Awesome.
So here's an interesting article that I saw. This is from Anfield Watch. This is like one of Liverpool's biggest things. I kind of wanted, just because it's Arthur, so I kind of wanted to talk. I don't want to talk about Allegri out, but I also want to talk a little bit about training and coaching staff. So you guys remember the Delict stuff at the beginning of the summer where Nagelsmann said this dude's out of shape? So it's been officially confirmed. Liverpool summer signing Arthur Melo is undergoing rigorous training program in bid to fit into Jurgen Klopp's plans because he is unfit. Well, no surprise there. We knew Arthur was unfit, but that, and then there was also a thing as well as Dennis Zakaria has not even gotten 10 minutes for Chelsea due to fitness concerns.
Wow.
So we have three players that have left Juventus that have not coaching, but fitness issues.
This blows my mind because I thought the problem is that we're training too hard and they're getting injured, but then they go to other teams and they're not in shape. Like what does this actually mean?
I don't understand. I mean, are the trainings just that not intense enough? So in game situations, they're getting hurt? Like, I thought it was just the point you made there, Dave. I thought they were too intense and they were just getting injured as a result of that, just being overworked. I'm confused.
Yeah, me as well. Because the thing is the Italians are known for running their players into the ground for training. So like it is like one of those things where like initially I'm like, okay, it makes sense. He's probably just riding him hard, etc. But and then it's like now I'm like out of shape. Like DeLitt is out of shape. Like, huh?
Yeah,
I
he was
thought, you
supposed to
know,
be a masterpiece, I thought, but
and you
no.
know, and you know, and I thought it was Nagelsmann being petty because like that guy he runs his mouth too much. He irritates the hell out of me. So I'm kind of laughing that Bayern's in terrible form right now because that guy's a bum. How do you lose with that super team to Villarreal of all teams? No offense to Villarreal, but
I mean, we
Bayern
did
should
it.
have. Yeah, but Bayern quality wise, like you have Lewandowski, and then like the midfield and wingers that they have, Sane
They,
and
they don't have Lewandowski anymore. He went to Barca
well, I'm saying last year, not this
last
year.
year. Oh yeah, sorry. Of
Yeah,
course.
so like they had that, and I mean they have Sadio Mane. They've got like probably one of the best wing play right now in Europe. But yeah, so and then DeLitt taking forever to accustom and get into shape as well. And then now like you have the confirmation because Arthur isn't like his mind's on Call of Duty and Counter Strike. He
You'll have
actually
to rank that.
well because the thing is he actually owns a gaming team, so like he actually sponsors and owns like a Call of Duty and Counter Strike group. And he also streams a lot too. So like when he wasn't playing with us, he was like literally streaming video games the entire time. I get it.
Speaking of which, that's coming, guys. I got it
Yeah.
figured out. It is coming.
So we are going to be streaming FIFA on the channel
Yeah.
side. So that's a shameless plug right there. But
I bought the more expensive one so I can get it 3 days early. So it's happening.
Fantastic.
so I'm gonna look at Dennis Zakaria just because I'm kind of
But he was having some actual like injury concerns before he left though too.
Yeah.
yeah.
he did.
So
Like I'm just wondering if like him and Arthur just kind of red herrings because they've had injuries for quite some
Yeah.
time.
Are they outliers in this case?
Yeah.
But then Delict, what's that excuse? Because I thought he was pretty in shape.
yeah, well, and that's the thing that kind of baffles me a little bit because it's like it looks like Zakaria hasn't even played anything for Chelsea yet.
Yeah, I was actually surprised they picked him up.
Yeah, that's the one thing too. But like the thing is again, he came in out of nowhere, got a groin injury, and then relapsed and got another groin injury as well. So it's like I don't. Yeah, it says right now currently he has no minutes on with Chelsea, so he hasn't even played with them. So like they have him, but I mean, and granted, because the Queen and all that stuff, so they've postponed games. But still, he was a deadline day transfer, and it's already 2 weeks into September, and he hasn't even done anything. And then the other thing we want to add on to it too, McKennie had a nutrition problem too, as well. Like for example, off season starting off, McKennie starts slow, Rabiot starts slow. A lot of players start slow with us, which it makes sense. And then like also to answer Bones's question, I wonder how much is nutrition. Dude, nutrition is huge. So like for example, you take 100% composition. So like for example, strength training and nutrition. It's 70% nutrition, 30% strength training. Your nutrition dictates your gains essentially. And I'm not a nutritionist here or a performance coach, but overall what I've been taught is you have to eat to the level that you're training. Like, so for example, these guys like Ronaldo probably is the gold standard for diets, for performance diets. But like, for example, Ronaldo's strict diet plan to what he eats. Like, for example, he has a pasta meal with some meat, with some protein, which is carbs and protein during midday. And like even Michael Jordan back then, like if you listen to Tim Grover, so Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's personal coach. And he would talk about it. Like MJ would eat specifically 4.5 hours before tip off because his body could digest the food in time. So like these nutritionists that Juve have, these fitness coaches and nutritionists, like they're probably more important than Allegri themselves. Because the thing is I can sit here and I can scheme as much as I want and say Juve is going to play like this, like this, like this. But if my nutritionists and my strength coaches don't get my guys in shape to do that, that's huge. Like I think that's one of the biggest things ever. Like for example, the reason why Real Madrid's super successful is like their strength and conditioning and their nutritionists are second to none. I think Real Madrid probably has the best back office staff because when Ronaldo moved into Juventus, he actually took he had a personal trainer and a nutritionist, a 2-in-1 combo. He took him from Madrid with him and paid him freelance money to come with him to Turin. So like
Crazy.
even Bayern Munich as well. Like Bayern Munich's strength and conditioning and their nutrition are ridiculous. Like they're edited, like the Gorsteka, the Leon Gorsteka pictures and the Lewandowski and the Alaba pictures, like when they're like super shredded. But even Bayern Munich, like they are phenomenal at strength training. I think the only teams that like suck are going to be PSG, us, and possibly Man City. I don't think Premier League teams have the best diet and nutritioning, just because they also get a lot of muscle injuries as well. But like,
it's England. Like, what are they eating? And
yeah,
I mean, there's a term.
Fish and chips.
There's a term for British people that is probably not a thing I should say, but it references the crap food that they eat.
Yeah. So like we've always had that issue. I think it was like 2018 when we started catching like this stupid injury bug, because like 2015, 2016, 2017 and before, like I think we used to have like 2 or 3 muscle injuries an entire season, and right now we're not even a month into it and we have 11. Like that is ridiculous. So like strength and conditioning. So there was this tweet that I saw. It was interesting because I lost it. I hope I didn't lose it, but I had it bookmarked. But they were saying that there's two potential solutions right now. One is obviously get rid of Allegri right away, and the club is currently thinking they're looking at ideas to solve the hiring problem.
And this is just into. I'm going to share the screen. But
I was going to say, I've been pretty proud of us. We've gone about an hour without totally compromising the entire conversation about Allegri out. We've been well rounded in our approach to what's going on here.
We try that.
So the reason why we're segueing into this is because I think it was just breaking news as we were going live. So the thing is right now apparently there's a severance package that would bring in Mancini instead of Allegri. Or is it sending Allegri in the opposite direction
to Italy? It's like to the national.
Yeah, because that's what I'm wondering. Because the idea is floating around that there's a severance package for Mancini, which is cheap, and it kind of goes along the lines of what Arriva Bene wants, which is like, I only want low-cost options. And then the other thing, too, was impose major changes in the coaching staff. So it's only the 2 options that the club are thinking about. Something's going to happen in the international break. I'm just going to tell you guys this, whether it be a Mancini-Allegri swap or would it be that they fire the entire back-end staff. One of those 2 things is going to happen. That's the one thing I'm going to put my hat on for sure. Again, for me, I'm not going to sit here and yell Allegri out, Allegri this, because, I mean, at this point, every channel and their mom are doing it. I get it. Like, I understand everyone's frustration, but, like, the thing for me right now is, like, and Davide and I covered it in the pregame last night, is like, if we fire this dude and we bring in someone that's even worse, like, I'm already starting to like mentally prepare myself of us playing in the Europa League.
But how can it be worse though?
Not qualifying for Europe at all. That to me that's a catastrophic failure.
But we're not playing like we have any ability to do so right now.
I get you, but like that's the thing. Like if we're like, for me, like the thing is if we finish below 7th place, that to me is like, dude, that is an absolute joke. Where it's like 5th in the current way that we're playing. If we finish 5th, it sucks. But like, you know, you play stupid games, play stupid prizes. But like if we were to take a gamble on a coach and then drop down to like 10th, that to me is just like, is it worth it? Because that's the thing. Because think about it, like, and it's not like a debate or anything like that. But like for me, it's like from my perspective, like if I have Allegri and I finish 5th versus me getting some random under 23 coach or a random coach and finishing like 10th or 11th. Because the thing is like financial distribution goes by ranking. So like for example, you'll make more money if you finish 5th versus finishing 10th. That's why I'm not. Yeah, that's why I'm not in favor of a total like burn it down and absolutely like start from scratch and finish 11th or 12th in the season. Again, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But like that's one of the things where I'm like, if we swap coaches and then we absolutely pick wrong, and then my head, the odds are like 80%. Like if we switch coaches, unless it's like a proven coach or a coach that can come in and take what we have and adjust it quickly, we're heading down that trajectory. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just a weird talk, to be honest with you, because I don't have a solution. That's why I'm not pushing for a solution right now, because hell, I don't even know myself what would work right now, because it's such a weird situation. Because like the thing is like there's so much wrong that you can't fix it all by one person. Obviously, the coach is the top guy, and he's the guy that goes first. But like, it's not just him, because like the thing is like we have the same issues we've had since he got fired the first time. Players not understanding the system or not accompanying the system, and also fitness issues. Those are the two things that I see. Players not being able to create or play make, and players not being able to be healthy enough. We saw that with Sarri, we saw that with Pirlo, and we saw that again with Allegri. So like for me, it's like there's three issues, and it's like Ghidorah. Like anyone watch Godzilla where you have the three-headed dragon Ghidorah? Like you cut one head and you still got two more, and it's like you still have.
But you have to do something, right?
No,
so
of
like
course.
when it comes to the players, we have the team we have at this point, right? And hopefully we get more of them back.
Yeah.
With them coming out of J Medical. So you're left with the management side and the coach, and something has to be done because clearly what we've been doing isn't working.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't disagree with you there, but like the thing is the thing that I want to iterate is like we keep cutting the head of the manager. Like visualize our three-headed dragon. We keep hitting the same head. We've been doing it for the last 3 years. So like what if we don't do the manager, but like do the other people responsible for giving the manager except because again, we keep doing this top-down approach. Essentially, Juve has been doing this top-down approach instead of doing this bottom-up approach where like the management isn't assessing, okay, hey, something's not working with Allegri here. So is it Landucci? Is it Landucci and Allegri's assistants? Is it the strength and conditioning and the nutritionist? Is it the yoga instructor that they have? I don't know. Some teams have a yoga instructor. Is it the Pilates guy that they have or whatever? Or is it like, again, the person that's cooking the meals at the Contonasa? Like, is it that person? Like for me, it's just like Juve is just, I don't know. And I blame the management for this because they're not doing actual problem solving. They're not really digging deep and figuring out the problem. Because you have Nedved here that wants Allegri's head. You have Arriva Bene that's like, I don't really want to spend that much money, and I don't like what's going on, but I also don't want to spend the money for it. And then you have Agnelli that's like a 100% Allegri stan. Like him and Allegri are like best friends, which already makes this whole situation weird. So like we're stuck in this weird limbo management-wise where it's absolutely a joke. It's embarrassing. The one thing, like for example, say what people want about Florentino Perez, but the dude is cold as hell when it comes to business deals. Like he even told Ronaldo to kick rocks or even told Casillas to kick rocks. So like the fact that like we're in this awkward thing where Agnelli and Nedved don't really see eye to eye as far as transfer policies. And then like, for example, Arriva Bene is doing like 90% of the talking and Cherubini is just like not really talking per se. Because Cherubini in theory is the sporting director. Arriva Bene is just the CEO. Like that's the only difference.
You would never know it.
Yeah, you would never know it. So it's like, and then Davide, you watch F1 more. You've watched F1 all your life, so it's like
I haven't watched it all my life. No, I actually just got into it. But
I got you. I was gonna say, like, is there anyone that's seen F1 with Arriva Bene? Like, is he like that? Like how he is with the club right now with F1?
So
like, I've seen that a lot. People are commenting. He's like, oh yeah, it's just like how he is in F1. Cheap as hell.
That's what I gathered because I just really got into it this year. I've been meaning to. It's just one of those sports I wanted to get into, and I just decided this year that I'll do it. But basically what I gather is he left Ferrari for a reason. Ferrari's in second this year, but it's a very, very sloppy second, and they might concede to Mercedes in third. The past few years, they've been battling just to get to third. Then they did, the change with Oliver Bene out. They got this Mattia Binotto in. They got the crazy hair. And I guess he's doing slightly better, but he's still making a mess of everything. So in terms of Arriva Bene, I think, he's very corporate in that sense. And like Ferrari, probably even more corporate than Juventus is in a lot of ways, right? Like it's a lot more of an international brand than Juventus. And Ferrari almost represents Italy instead of just a city in that case as well. So the way he kind of presents things is, from my experience, probably very similar, very diplomatic, very corporate.
Yeah, I mean, he's done great with players. Like, can we all three of us agree on that? Like, I think Arriva Bene's actually done a pretty good job as far as player deals and structures and all that kind of stuff. My only concern is like, how much say does he actually have for the back office though? Like that's the one thing that I'm very curious about. Like him and Carabini did
Good
great.
question.
Like they handled great stuff as far as like player contracts, removing players, like getting Arthur and Zakaria on loans with options to buy. I never thought I would see the day that there's an option to buy an Arthur, but it looks like it's probably not going to get hit. But like the fact that they're able to move those and do that, like I mean, they literally were on the verge of moving Rabiot if it wasn't for his mom. So like they did great there. But like my concern is like who really has the say in the back office? Like Allegri was hired. I think Allegri was hired before Arriva Bene and Carabini both
Yeah.
came in. Is that I think that's what happened. So like how much of the coaching, so like for example, the hiring, the firing of the nutritionist and the coaching staff, how much of that is actually Arriva Bene and Carabini versus Nedved and Agnelli? Like that's the one thing. That's the one thing that seems really odd about the club is like the whole back office. The club, the players that you got in, I still think they did good business, regardless of what the performance is right now. The contracts moved, the players brought in, financial structure of it, I think is fine. But like the thing is I don't understand the back office. That's the one thing I don't get. Because like it started getting weird when Marotta left. And I'm not saying that Marotta's our Lord and Savior, but like Marotta to Paratici and then Paratici to Carabini and Riva Bene, like that whole cycle, and then like the restructuring where they split the sporting director position after Paratici left. It just to me, I don't know, like how much of it is Agnelli, how much of it is actually Nedved and some other folks that are being played around. Because I think it's going to be to the point where it gets so skewed that Elkin just comes in, kicks the door in, and says, "All of you are fired."
Yeah. I'm hoping soon. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of a fire sale in that case, but
Yeah, I mean, because we've obviously talked a lot about Allegri at this point, and we haven't talked too much about Agnelli, and I think Dash is probably one of the things that you were advocating for is that like we've been getting rid of coaches. I mean, we've gone Allegri, Sarri, Pirlo, back to Allegri, and we're still not where we feel that we should be. Is it something else beyond the coach? And I mean, Agnelli obviously did really well to get Juve back on the map and to win the 9 straight titles. But stuff that's been happening these last couple of years under his kind of tenure and leadership have been problematic. I mean, I think one of the things that I can offer firsthand to everything that we're doing here is the stadium experience. And like, it's amazing going to the games. Don't get me wrong. But it's a little underwhelming compared to what you would expect.
Yeah.
And to go to some of these matches where 2,000 or 3,000 away spectators are out chanting and making more noise than 30 to 40,000 Juventini, it's embarrassing. And it's interesting because I know Agnelli and a lot of Juve management want to have the stadium be different, right? And it's obviously very different from any other stadium across Serie A, and make it this family environment. And you go in before the game kicks off, there's lasers going on, there's music playing, they have a DJ that's putting on a performance, there's kids dancing and running up, and like it is a good environment for family. So in that respect, like they've done very well there. But from the passion of the fans and the energy that's required for the game, we all know it's happened with the ultras, and there's the real Curva Sud's not there. There's no banners. There's no flags. There's no, I mean, I'm not advocating for like flares and bombs and stuff, but like that energy that comes with the orchestration and the chanting, it's gone. Like it's you go to a match pre-COVID and where we are now, something's wrong there. And obviously we don't know what happens behind closed doors. And I'm sure Agnelli was faced with some very challenging situations where I'm sure there's blackmail involved and people are trying to take advantage of what they bring. And I'm not going to pretend to know things that I don't fully know, but there's decisions that have been made that have hurt this team. And he goes to the match just every week. Like, he sees this as an experience, as it like, how do you not do anything about that? It's just not, it's not the same. And I don't know, that part hurts. It's when you have a team that's not playing inspired football. You have a coach that is using these archaic tactics that aren't working, that's driving fans insane. And then you couple it off with a stadium experience that leaves a lot to be desired. It's just this product that they're supposedly trying to work on with this global brand and a logo instead of a badge, and like everything that they're doing. If you don't have a team that's fun to watch, that isn't winning, and it's not a fun stadium experience, what does all that other stuff mean? I don't know what it gets you.
I know. I guess we know what Bim says it means. It's like a tennis game.
Well, so I don't watch much tennis. I have, but is there a reference there? I'm not getting tennis supporters.
Yeah, you
crazy,
can't
or?
talk. You can't talk. Like,
Oh yes, yeah,
yeah,
okay,
like during
of
a tennis
course.
match,
Yeah.
like they, like you'll hear the guy that says,
Yeah, the shusher. Same with
Quiet.
golf.
"Quiet, please." Like you'll hear that. Like, what was it? I think there was a one time where like a kid was watching his dad play, and the kid just like burst out like, "Daddy!" And then like everyone just starts laughing, and the guy's like, "Quiet, please."
Yeah, that's so weird. Like no talking at a sporting event.
I know. But yeah,
Yes.
and then the funny thing, and the perfect person to actually talk about that is Kevin, because Kevin's actually he's been at every single home game we've had so far. So like,
I missed Roma and Spezia, but the other ones, yeah. But I mean, you look at what happened this week at Benfica. Those fans were passionate and loud. They had flags
were.
and banners and flares. And again, like, I'm not advocating for like fire in the stadiums, but
Flares are fine. Come on, it's
Why-
open air.
why are they allowed to have that? Why
That's the
don't-
weird thing.
It's just like, it's so, I don't know. I don't get it. And there's probably a number of things that again, I just don't understand what's happened behind the scenes, and if there's been threats and among other things, but
There's always something.
it's almost like WWE. Like it's like a good analogy with the World Wrestling Entertainment or Federation. It's like back then was like the Attitude Era. It's like TV 14. Everybody was loving it. The fans were going crazy, and then they switched to PG, and then everyone says it sucks. And now they're switching back to TV 14 or adult content per se. And it's like the same thing with the stadium. So like for example, we were like TV mature because we're like, you have those fun banners, the Del Piero, like the Buffon, like the life-size Buffon face banners, the flares and all that fun stuff, like the legit curva, like amazing fans. And then
they
it's like
had
now,
songs for every player on the field, right? Like it was orchestrated. None of that exists anymore.
and then they banned it for literally what the sheriff said, banned it for security reasons. They want a family-oriented atmosphere.
Yeah.
So like the Juventus, the
But
Allianz
at the
Stadium has become TV.
There's got to be a happy medium, though. There's got to be some place to meet in the middle.
There kind of isn't, though, because I mentioned this before in one of the lives with my hockey team, the Maple Leafs. It is so just stale. What's the word I'm looking for? It's there's just nothing to it. And you go in and you pay $200-300 for the crap seats just to get in. So the only people there are all these businessmen that don't really care about it. They're just trying to, smooge their buyer or their seller, what have you. And it's just dead in there because it's become family oriented because you don't have the crazy drunk dude there. And not that I'm advocating to just get drunk and be a complete mess, but personally, I kind of enjoy it when there's a few of them around me because it's that much more fun.
Why can't you have flags and banners?
It's like, come on, guys. Yeah, we're not English fans.
Family. And people aren't. If you're coming with kids, you're not sitting in the curvas anyway because you can't get a good view from back there. Like you're going to be in Tribuna Est along the sidelines.
This is a good point here. They didn't put the cage in front of them. They kind of put that clear glass, which is more like a hockey arena in that sense.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's true that they did that. And then also like, You look at, like,
That
for
is
example,
true.
you look at Premier League atmospheres as well. Like, you look at teams in the Prem, and like their fans are ridiculous. Like, what was it? Coutinho came into Aston Villa last January, and they already had a song for him first game
Yeah.
in. Like, they're and it's a shame because, like, you look at the old pictures of the Derby d'Italia, the Derby de Maradona, like, you look at all those, like, old school derbies that we had. Man, like, I remember the one picture, I think it was Zlatan when he was at Inter, and he was standing next to that, or I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm gonna piss off someone, so I'm just gonna say the picture with the Milan and Inter fan just looking over the sea of flares at the San Siro. Like, dude, like, that was, like, the heyday. Like, those were, like, actual atmospheres, and I even remember, like, the Conte time with us, like, the atmosphere was crazy, and it's like, remember the remontada against Atletico at Allianz? Like, I don't
Good
know,
points. Yeah.
the crowd wasn't as hype as it was previously, but I mean, that was after Agnelli did the stupid reductions. And it's like, I don't know, like, it just almost lost it. Like, you look at Real Madrid, you look at the new camp, you look at all these other stadiums, and like, it's just like an amazing atmosphere where it's like, with us, it's just kind of like, bleh. Like,
So, and I haven't been to the Juve Stadium, unfortunately. But I do get
Dave, we
around
got
just
to
with
make
my.
that happen.
Oh, we will. I
yeah.
do. I really want to make it next. Maybe next September. No promises. I'm gonna try to make it happen. I mean, life and work has gotten in the way, of course. That whole pandemic thing, whatever. But I did. It was last November, and I was there again because of work. But I made a point of it. I was in the south of Spain, but I took the train up to Sevilla to watch Sevilla versus Alaves, so a La Liga game. And going in as a neutral, man, did I really feel it? Like, I felt like I was one of the fans. I didn't know what anybody was saying. I didn't know the chants, but I was there and I felt part of it. And I was just, it was a great experience. And I brought, so there was 8 of us, and I mean they're all Canadians, so they're not born into that soccer culture, that football culture. One of them played as a kid. The other 6 guys had no idea what was going on, and they all came out of that game saying that it was one of the best experiences that they've ever had. That's what J Stadium should give to everyone, is an unforgettable experience.
Yeah,
It did. It did.
It
Those
did,
those
yeah.
early years, I was fortunate to see a couple games like pre-COVID before the stuff started changing with the relationship. Excuse me, with with the ultras, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. Um, but it's just tough. So I think
yeah.
that's my roundabout way of getting to, like, Dash. I wholeheartedly agree. It's not just with Allegri, but I still don't see how you continue with him.
Yeah. No, and I get you. Like, I totally get it. It's just, for me, it's like right now, and the reason why, like, I'm just concerned because I don't know what comes, because I'm afraid of opening that Pandora's box. So, like, feel free, people to
Reasonable.
call me. Yeah, feel free to call me a coward, folks, in the comments. But like, it's just, for me, like, I can't. The one thing I can never stand is seeing us at, like, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th place. Like, that to me is just like, I don't want to. I don't want to relive those days again. And it's, I'm not settling for mediocrity. Like, I want us to win, but like, at the same time, I'm like, I'd rather have us be in 5th than be in 10th. Like, for example, remember the season where Conte didn't qualify for we lost to Galatasaray and we got knocked into Europa League. Everyone was losing their mind. In my head, I'm like, I still want us to try to win the Europa League. Conte was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the 100+ points record for Serie A instead of winning the Europa League in the Allianz Stadium. And that's where Conte died for me, like, as a fanatic. That's where I got pissed at him. But like, yeah, it's the one thing that concerns me. But like, that's it. I'm just afraid of Pandora's box when it comes to that. So like, and then also, kind of to file in with Oscar, fans make huge differences. Like, I don't know why our management doesn't understand that. Like, hell,
Well, this is part of the problem, though,
yeah,
because they wanted discounted tickets for what they bring to the stadium. And there was probably some strong words and maybe just some other kind of threatening actions that came along with that. But to Oscar's point, like, that is part of what happened, and that they were looking for discounted prices and incentives for what they bring to the stadium. And Yelly wasn't having anything to do with
So
that.
you know
don't
some of the ultras, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've interacted with
Yeah,
some,
okay.
and most of them are just pleasant people. I mean, there are some psychopaths that are among them, right?
Well, yeah,
And
of course.
you're going to get probably some in traditional Italian form. There's going to be some crazy right wing fascists that are among the group, but 95% of them are just like us, right? Like if you learn the chance, you go there, you get behind the stadium or you get behind the goal and curve a suit, and you're a part of that. I mean, I went with the most fun I've had from a fan experience this season in the most dreadful game was at Sampdoria, was going down to the Marassi and being there with the traveling fans and with the music and the drums and the banners and
Getting your
all the
beer out of a
chants.
hole in the wall.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sitting there with like 17-year-old kids. Like some of
And that
them have
was
their
the thing.
parents with them, and some of them have
Yeah.
their parents with them, and they're chanting and like they're just
And that was
people.
one thing too, just going back to that Sevilla match that I went to, that there was an Alaves fan, and I don't know, somebody my age, I guess, 30s, 40s, what have you, an older guy, and he was the Alaves fan, but this, I don't know, he was like 16, maybe even a younger kid, Sevilla fan, the home fan, was just yelling at this dude, just because he was an Alaves guy, like not with the Alaves fans, and they were like a few rows up ahead of us, we were right behind him. But this 16-year-old kid just let this guy have it, and I was just cracking up. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
But going back to what we were saying, that like the corporate wanted discounted tickets, don't like most clubs actually offer discounted tickets for their ultras? Like it's not like actually written in paper that they do, but like you
I
would
don't
think,
want to misspeak. I don't know for sure. It makes sense to me logically, but
because it's like
I
in
don't.
the because like in the US you have like season ticket holders that are like your ultras in the US, but like I don't know, like I would figure because like the clubs would want that because like your best, it's the 12th man, like everyone wants the
Yeah.
12th person. That's additionally, it's the fans that just psych people out because like the thing is, man, like you go to Dortmund and like their fans where they have those like huge banners with like
It's the
the
wall.
binoculars,
Yeah.
the wall. Like, could you imagine being a player stepping onto that pitch and you see that like all of those people just beaming down? You're just like, shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand like maybe there's like other things that we don't know, like mafia ties and stuff like that. Like behind the scenes.
I'm sure
I'm
there are, but that's my point though, because like Allegri or not Allegri, Agnelli, Nedved, and the other cast of characters, they see this week in and week out, and how do they sit in that stadium and say, "This is fine, this is what we want," and not do anything about it?
Yeah.
It's incredibly frustrating.
So like my question for you, Kevin, is like, so like the prices in the stadium, because like they have restaurants, like they have food and all that other stuff. So like, is it like affordable? Because I know I've heard people complain about like the concessions being like a ridiculous amount. So like, for
It
example,
depends from the perspective that you look from.
okay,
So if you're coming from, so you're based in Michigan, you go to a Detroit Lions game, how much are you going to pay for a beer?
roughly about $7, $7, $8.
Okay, that's actually less than I was expecting, because I know if
Because
like
it's the
coming
Lions.
from,
Pick a good team.
yeah, that's probably true. Like I come from,
Well, so here,
I come
let
from,
me go ahead.
if you look it up, like I think at a lot of these stadiums, you can spend upwards of $10 to $15 for a beer. And
In Canada,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
10 to 15 bucks.
Yeah.
It's so in the stadium, they actually just increased it €1 from match day one. Match day one, it was €5 for a beer, and it just went up to 6 with the Salernitana match. Don't know why. So when you're looking at it through the lens of a lot of like American and other Western sports, that seems reasonable. But to your everyday Italian, it's expensive. And Juve has the most expensive season tickets. Used to be able to get season tickets for a couple €100. And I think the cheapest season ticket right now, with which isn't a good seat, is like €800 or €900 for the season. Which again, through the lens of American sports, that would be an incredibly cheap season ticket. But it's not for the diehard fans who live here, and they're catering to visitors, to external people, to people with more expendable income and not their everyday fan that would actually be bringing more of that atmosphere to the stadium. So it is pricey. It is pricey for a lot of the people that can and should be there. And it's unfortunate.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, and like the Detroit Lions aren't like the best example for concussions, just because they're not known for being a successful franchise. Because it's funny, because like as we were talking, I pulled up average NFL beer prices, and I'm like, the Detroit Lions are actually the cheapest franchise to sell beer at $5 a pint.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot.
And the demographic too, like Detroit isn't a very rich city.
As some folks have called it, the Napoli of the United States. That's not me. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard that before. But it makes sense. So like my question also, because you're boots on the ground there all the time. So like, for example, most of the people that you see in Turin at the Allianz Stadium, are they like people that are coming in from like different, small spots of Italy? Because like, for example, Juventus is known to be the club that doesn't have like a centralized fan base where you have people that are coming in from all over the place, like from Bari, from even parts of Bologna, San Marino, and like all over. Like people take trains and buses just to head over there. So I was just curious, like how much of it is like actual local folks from Turin or versus like folks that are coming in throughout the entire country?
It's a good question. I'd be actually really interested myself to see the statistics or numbers behind that. I think if you look at the curva, that's going to be mostly local people, whether they're from Turin or it's easily accessible from other northern Italian communities. I think when you look at the Tribuna S just along the sideline, which is actually where I sit, it seems to be just a lot of like one-time people. You definitely have some foreigners, and you hear different languages other than Italian being spoken. But it is a lot of families that are there kind of one-off. Now, on like weekday games, are these people like flying up from Rome to watch a Tuesday match? Probably not. But on the weekends, when there's a Saturday or a Sunday match, you go walk around Turin, you see Italian families like coming out of the Juventus store, like with their bag of their like newly minted jersey with Vlahovic on the back, and they're eating at some touristy restaurants. So it is an attraction, and people definitely do come in, but it's hard to kind of break down the specifics. But there's definitely people that come in for that experience. Other than you won't get that same appeal at like Roma, for example. You don't have people from all over Italy coming in to see them.
No, I got you. Yeah, the one thing that I'm curious, and I wonder if we can do an experiment with you. We're going to use you as a guinea pig, but like,
please do.
I kind of want to see, and it depends on the schedule, but like, for example, looking at Turin, if we have like an 11 a.m. United States or Eastern time, like, so like a midday, like a 6 p.m. game versus like the traditional 8:45. I'm kind of curious because like, for example, usually we have the 8:45 matches, but like, again, that's like really close to the point right now where it's dark over there. So like, is it, and I don't know if you've experienced like a 6 p.m. game or a noon game or a lunchtime game over there, but like, I wonder how it is. Like, I'm just curious, like maybe we could get some clips and just sample it and we'll show them on the channel, but like, just look at like the different times. And then also I think the one thing I can't wait is to see you on the ground for the Turin Derby, just because like a bunch of Torino fans are like super petty towards Juve. So I'm kind of curious
absolutely.
to see that.
Well, I forget in the schedule which one comes first, whether it's at the Allianz or the Stadio Comunale. I forget who has the first like home game. But if I'm going to try to go to wherever Juve's away as well, just to see that. I mean, why not? I'm here. So we'll just see what that experience is like.
What I can do actually real quick, I want to show the one there at Sampdoria where you're getting the beer through the slit in the wall there.
So yeah, we're also, guys, like folks, you can definitely check out Kevin's clips on our channel. So like Kevin does upload a lot of clips to our channel with him going around Italy.
So I just got through security. They send the visitors down this dark dungeon.
Yeah, you can hear the audio?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And that's where the guests are allowed to buy beer. I'm not kidding.
It's a wild day.
I will be back there, don't worry. And here we are allo stadio.
So this is awesome.
And we're
This is
among
it. This is what
friends.
you get, like right on the ground floor. So this is just a quick little snippet.
That was such a
It's
fun
gonna be
day,
fun.
except for the game.
I'm gonna go get a beer from a hole in the wall.
So you got to have the Bitcoin sticker on the glass.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I'll try to find a goal or something too while you guys are talking.
Yeah, but like, guys, check out the depository that we have on the channel, man. Kevin takes some really awesome shots. Like for example, the Benfica one where he was literally right on the sideline from his previous seats. Super awesome. And then I believe we also have more clips on the drive that we haven't shared yet. As
There's the train.
Yeah, there's the train driving by. But yeah, it's super cool. And then while Davide's pulling that up, I kind of want to talk about this. So this is one thing that Sam mentioned. I'm not really well versed on the Ultra situation just because it happened a long time ago, and to be honest with you, I never really read up too much on it. But it doesn't surprise me. I mean, like, I think that's probably what the whole mafia thing was them just selling the tickets, and apparently it was generating a secondary revenue. I need to research on it before I really like speak onto it. I'm not too sure about it, but that's something that Sam's brought to the table too. And then Bones is commenting about the train. I hope the train is taking Allegri with them. I don't know if a train can cross the ocean yet. I do appreciate it, but I don't. But you know what? Let me ask this poll though. So like with the Allegri out swap with Mancini, guys in the chat, how would you feel about that? If Mancini came in, if the severance package kicked in as we're pulling up the clip, just shoot a comment, Mancini or Allegri. I'm just curious to see where everyone's thought process is at. But this is a clip of, I believe it is a penalty. Is it a penalty against Spezia?
Yeah, it's the Sassuolo
Or
piece.
Sassuolo penalty. Okay.
So, yeah, I forgot that it got called back here.
Yeah, it's the encroachment.
But I mean, you don't get this angle anywhere else, guys. So this is why it's awesome. So if you haven't checked out Kevin's videos, I have put it in its own folder as well. Again, eh?
It happened a couple times.
So I mean, where else are you gonna get that? So Kevin, you're doing an awesome job right on the ground.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that other Juventini channels don't have that we do have. So we actually have our superhero right here, Kevin, that actually gets us the live clips. And I'm working on a way to possibly see if I can, before we go live, where I can pull those clips and do a little bit of a highlight reel for the goals, because Kevin records all the goals that we score. So like the Milik goal against.
Well, I try to.
You try to.
Don't always catch them live. I got a lot of celebrations.
Yeah, because sometimes there will be a time where he sees goal and then his phone's gone, and they're like, "Oh no, what happened to Kevin?"
Did you see that when I was going through? It might have been that Sampdoria game again, where you're taking a video of yourself, and there was guys behind you, and they were kind of making fun of you. Did you see that?
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. Yeah, no, I thought that was fun. I didn't know if you caught onto that one, but man, that's got to be hard though. Like always taking video of yourself just everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, but in the society we live in today, most people are doing that anyway. This is for a purpose. That's not how I normally am, but
no, for sure, obviously,
it's fun. No, but I mean, it's. I feel like I have an opportunity to help share something with people who care about something we're all passionate about. Right?
Yeah, you do, for sure.
We're here because we've connected over a sporting team, and while that in itself might not seem super, I don't know, it might seem trivial, but like, look at this great community, and like we can have a conversation, connect with people from all over the world. And I feel like being here, it like I almost have like a duty or responsibility to help like share just something that not everybody gets the opportunity to experience firsthand. And it goes beyond just watching it on TV or scrolling through Instagram. Right. So hopefully it helps, and hopefully you guys value it. And look, I mean, I'd love to take direction from what you want to see. If there's certain questions you want to ask the fans, if there's certain things you want filmed, just hit us up, right? Like this is for you guys. Like this isn't for me. So
and if they're looking to go to Turin and see a game, I mean, should they contact you or?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I would recommend 100% and a plug to Maurizio from around Turin, because I've piggybacked on a lot of his events. And if you're not following around Turin on either Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you definitely should. And this guy is kind of a god among local fans, and he's got a wife and kids and a really good job, but he dedicates so much of his time like organizing events and experiences for people coming from all over the world to go to these home matches. So like, obviously you can contact me if you would love to come to a game, but you'll get more value out of the Around Turn events, and I'd probably be there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point. You will be there one way or another with Around Turn.
Yeah.
And you did get to interview Maurizio as well, so check that out.
We'll have more. We'll get some more from him.
Nice. Yeah. But check that out. That was one of our first videos, and that was really our first successful, like a video that actually did something. So
yeah,
I mean, thanks for doing that. It really did help the channel, but it's good to see that aspect of the sport, the team as well.
Yeah.
So.
And then also, like, I also asked the chat too, like, if there's anything specific that you want us to look at when Kevin's walking around Turin, like, just let us know if there's something that we see that's like constantly popping up in the DMs where like, hey, Kevin, I think you should take a look at this or film this. So like, yeah, like for example, even if hypothetically, if we wanted Kevin to stroll by the other team's ultras to take a video of their flares, just let us know. If we get a consistent thing, we'll be like, all right, I think they want to see it. But like, yeah, anything that you guys want. Like, for example, if there's like an espresso shop or even gelato, because like Dave and I were asking Kevin to see if we can sample people's favorite gelato flavors. I think it was the Salernitana game, right before the Salernitana game.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, like if there's anything, if there's anything that you guys want us to look at or get for you on the ground, just let us know, and then we'll forward it over to Kevin.
And these fans are from everywhere. I thought it was great. Obviously, America, Indonesia, Kuwait, Jordan. You have a couple guys from England as well. Like literally just all over. And Johannesburg too. You had at South Africa.
They were great.
Like, literally everywhere. So cool. But yeah, on that point, guys. I mean, this is funny because Kevin, you said
he said he doesn't want a long stream, and we were at an hour and 40 minutes.
I'm hitting past midnight here.
I know.
Yeah, you are.
So I'll say some housekeeping stuff. So a lot of people that just jumped in, we were kind of talking more so about with Kevin about his adventures in Turin. He's our on the ground guy for us on the channel. If you want the Monza recap, we did it at the beginning of the live stream. So like the first 45, 50 minutes where we brought up some, where I did some, I call them dashagrams now, where I just pull up the drawing board and I just draw some stuff, some etch and sketch things that happened with us in Monza. I kind of more so broke down the goal that was scored by Monza. So if you guys are joining in right now at the live stream, just hit the replay, just replay it, look at the first 45, 50 minutes. And then the second half, we're more so talking about just kind of like the fan atmosphere, some possible coaching. Is Serie A kind of good or is it getting weaker? So anyone jumping in at this point, we appreciate you guys jumping in live. Again, the more live viewers, the more interactions, the more fun that we have. But if you guys are wondering why aren't they talking about the game, we did so in the first half, ironically, because we're at the 90-minute, or roughly around the 90-minute mark. So we actually might have strategically planned it like a football match. You never know.
Not at all. So before we sign off, Kevin, thanks for joining us for your first live. Glad you can finally make it, that everyone can actually see what you do here. Hopefully your videos start picking up. Now
I hope I'm invited back.
Oh no, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, everyone's always invited back, always. So, I mean, you got the link. And that's the thing with our guys. You see Farhad dropping in sometimes. He's a busy guy. We're all busy dudes. We all do our own thing, our own lives. But yeah, I mean, if it's just a matter of dropping in for 5 minutes and that's what you can do, then yeah, you can come back.
It's been a lot of fun. I wish we were talking about something, I don't know, a little more exciting, but
hey,
I'm glad to share it with you guys and everyone who joined us. I mean, it's awesome to see you taking your time on the live stream. You guys are great.
I was gonna say we did an hour and 45 minutes of Juve talk without Allegri, guys. Like that is an accomplishment right now because that's
for the most part, yeah.
That's the only thing trending. Well, and the thing is, so there's other channels that streamed earlier this morning, and that's all they were talking about. So we're just kind of like, we don't want to piggy bank off of that. We want to try to lighten the mood because we get it. We know he sucks. So let's try to ease the heartburn. We're like Tums, like those anti-acid reflux pills that you take, where it's like it's there, but we're like the cherry or the orange or the lemon flavored thing that just kind of eases the acid reflux away. So like that was kind of what we were shooting for today.
And this 2-week break couldn't come at a better time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now I do have an idea too, because we are in a bit of a break. We will have some more empty space on the timeline. I do have another project, that historical little the short videos I want to do there. But that being said, and I wanted to do this from the get-go, and I was waiting until our chat really started taking off, and we have the regulars, and we do have regulars and new people coming and going all the time, so that's great. I want to start hearing you guys. Now, I know it's not for everyone to come on here. We don't have to even show your face. It could just be audio, but we want to do a platform kind of like a traditional call-in, FM, AM radio show, if you will. So it's pretty easy to do on this platform. All I have to do is give you guys a link. I'm going to pick a day sometime this week, and you guys can, message me, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, what have you. Tell me what you think is the best day to do this. I don't know if you guys want to come in hot tomorrow, give it a couple days, say Wednesday. But I want to do like another therapy session where you guys can just get all your quarrels off your chest. Especially by then we should have some more news if Allegri's out, if he's in, some options, what have you. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna post that, and if you want to have your voice heard, easy. Just message me. We'll make it happen.
And we'll say that skit before the start of the show again. We'll do that skit just to make
we can do that too.
Yeah, we'll do that skit for everyone. Be like,
hope you enjoy that. If you missed it, we did a little skit right at the beginning. So on the replay, please check it out. We had a little fun.
We're a comedic channel, guys. I don't know why everyone sits there and is like, who wants to be serious all the time? We gotta do some laughs, right? For the lulls.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, guys, I think it. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. Follow us on all the socials. Make sure you check out Kevin's videos because they're awesome. He's got some random just around touring, and it's hard not to use that name. But also, as you saw, right in the stadium, and some reactions and fan interviews as well with that. So check him out. Kevin,
Thanks,
any
David.
last words?
Fino alla fine, guys.
Fino alla fine. There you go. Dash?
Devin, hit my music. I'm going to drag it out with this long pause, but let's kick it off. All right. We'd like to thank you for calling and voicing your complaint to the Juventus Fan Club hotline. We've taken your guys' complaints, and we've taken it to heart, and we've decided that we're going to do something about it. So just wait 5 to 6 business days. And in return to us, please fill out a customer satisfaction form. By doing so, all you need to do is hit a like, comment on the replay, share it to your friends, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe to your Juventus weekly updates. Also, just because it's an international break does not mean that we're on a break. So check out the channel live for any notifications and also stuff that Davide and I will be doing. A little bit of a teaser, FIFA, as well as our call-in show. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the show, and we'll see you this upcoming week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night. See you on the next one.